A Step into the Past Volume 25 Chapter 11. Book 25 Chapter 11, Exacting Sweet Vengeance. At the darkest hour before dawn, a long procession of nearly 3,000 human beings is entering Windstorm Valley in silence. Their only source of illumination and guidance is a few torches. From the appearance of the procession, it is evident that these refugees are in a state of panic and disorder. Intermittently broken up into several sections, each batch of travelers are moving in an uncaring manner. Leaving the women and children to their own devices at the back of the procession, no assistance is rendered to the fallen. Although everybody detests Lu Bue to the core, they are filled with sympathy at the sight before their eyes. Xiang Xiaolong pondered, I only wish to take the life of old traitor Lu. Is there a way of singling Lu Bue out from so many people? Xiao Yuan coldly chortled, given old traitor Lu's self-seeking character, he would definitely be at the head of the pack. Pointing to the front of the convoy, he indicated, there are a few human-pulled carts. Old traitor Lu must be inside one of them. Xiang Xiaolong instructed, in this case, once the first batch of 100-odd individuals exit the valley, we can seal the valley with wood and stones. It'll be easier to capture him this way. Except for old traitor Lu, the others can go free. The minute Lu Bue and his immediate group of 100-odd refugees left the mouth of the valley, several tree trunks and countless giant boulders came crashing down suddenly from the top of a cliff. Momentarily, the area was engulfed by a huge cloud of dust, and the booming noises of the falling objects shocked everyone out of their wits. The wood and rocks that are pushed off the cliff instantly separated the procession in the most heartless manner. Falling into disarray, the refugees on both sides of the obstruction fled for their lives in opposite directions among the cries and shouts for help. Some of them naturally fell down and were trampled all over by their fellow travelers. It felt like the apocalypse. For those who managed to leave the valley, they are blindly running away when scores of torches are being lighted. As 200 Wu family warriors rode towards Lu Bue from all directions, they did not harm any of the porters and followers. They simply encircled the wretched-looking Lu Bue, who is presently protected by 10-odd bodyguards. In a split second, Lu Bue is completely surrounded and he has reached the end of his tether. Standing in the center of a protective circle formed by his family warriors, Lu Bue's face is deadly pale and he is panting non-stop. Together with Tu Xian, Xiao Yuan, Teng Yi, Jing Jun, and Ji Yanran, Xiang Xiaolong rode out from the crowd. Perched high up on his horse, he thundered, Lu Bue, years ago when you ambushed my forces and murdered my wife and maids, did it ever cross your mind that there will be a day like today? Noticing Tu Xian and Xiao Yuan, Lu Bue was bristling with anger and hatred. As his body shook uncontrollably, he pointed his finger at them and bellowed, well done. To think that I, Lu Bue, have been treating you two with benevolence, how dare you conspire with outsiders against me? With a pui, Tu Xian spat a glob of saliva on the ground. Clenching his teeth, he cursed, shut your smelly mouth. I should be the one using these words against you. Despite my unwavering loyalty, you chose to sacrifice my bosom buddies in order to direct suspicions away from yourself. You are not fit to be human. Xiao Yuan scorned, in the face of death, you are still incorrigible and full of shameless nonsense. Today, I am personally here to witness your demise because I want to prove the justice and righteous ways of heaven. How dare you dispute the truth and make willful accusations? Lu Bue was briefly dumbfounded. Noticing the hundreds of arrows aimed at his heart and waiting to be released, he lost his tongue. In her shrill voice, Ji Yanran admonished, the late king has always treated you with kindness. However, you cold-bloodedly poisoned him to death. Lu Bue, you are worse than a beast. Teng Yi roared, the deaths of Su Xian and Lu Gong were all because of you. Heaven must be blind for keeping you alive for the past few years. Jing Jun instead bellowed, you bunch of fools, are you thinking of accompanying him to his deathbed? Throw down your weapons at once and scram as far as your legs can carry you. The family warriors exchanged glances with one another. After the first weapon is discarded, everyone disappeared in a flash. What's left is a freshly betrayed by his men Lu Bue standing alone in the center of their encirclement. Xiang Xiaolong and his companions leapt off their horses and advanced towards Lu Bue. Zhang. Xiang Xiaolong unsheathed 100 battle saber. Within a second, his mind has experienced countless flashbacks of the most heart-wrenching moments of his life, and they are all triggered by Lu Bue. Chunying and her fellow maids, his trusted subordinates, one by one, they started bleeding and eventually collapsing on the ground. In the prime of her youth, Zhao's third princess turning into a lifeless corpse in his arms, the look of grievance in King Zhuangxiang's eyes as he passed away, Lu Gong dying with his eyes wide open, these images simultaneously recurred in his vision. Feeling as if a huge boulder has been casted into his tranquil, mental lake, he is now overwhelmed by turbulent waves of grief. Out of the blue, he discovered the 100 battle saber in his hand has penetrated the abdomen of Lu Bue. It was Lu Bue's body that suddenly lunged forward and pierced itself against his 100 battle saber. Actually, Lu Bue was smacked in the back by Teng Yi's Mozi sword, causing him to stumble forward. In the ears of Xiang Xiaolong, he could hear Teng Yi praying, "Princess Jian, this is for you. May your soul in heaven be appeased." By the time Lu Bue slumped against the body of Xiang Xiaolong, he has turned into a lifeless corpse. All the fame and fortune of the world has nothing to do with him anymore. Although Xiang Xiaolong personally killed his nemesis, his heart is feeling empty. His mind totally blank, he did not experience any joy from exacting sweet vengeance. He has grown to detest the mutual killings of humans. The sky is finally brightening. After 3 days and 2 nights of continuous riding, Xiang Xiaolong and his followers could not withstand the fatigue anymore. Pitching tents, they took a break. They are 1 day's journey away from the farms. During their voyage, Xiang Xiaolong is extremely quiet. That very night, the weather is excellent. Accompanied by a new crescent moon, the sky is star-studded. Spreading over the entire horizon, the stars are twinkling in clusters of varying sizes. Leaving the campgrounds, Xiang Xiaolong and Ji Yanran ascended a small hill. Leisurely sitting back to back on a turf of grass that is tall enough to reach their knees, they soak in the ambience of genuine and deep love as husband and wife. Xiang Xiaolong started to relax. Presently, Lu Bue's issue seems to be miles away and the threat of Xiaopan is literally non-existent. He suddenly recalled a movie about Qin Shi Huang that he watched in the 21st century. Lu Bue certainly did not die the way he did. After being implicated for recommending Lao Ai into officialdom, he was stripped of his premiership by Ying Zheng and exiled to Xi'ai, Henan province. Nonetheless, still bearing malicious intentions, Lu Bue remains in cahoots with the rich and powerful of the 6 states. Eventually, he was forced by Ying Zheng to move to Zhoujun and was served with a warning letter. Knowing that he cannot escape the gallows, Lu Bue chose to commit suicide by drinking poisonous wine. However, Xiang Xiaolong was obviously the one who killed Lu Bue with his saber. Did he unconsciously change the course of history? In the midst of his wild reflections, Ji Yanran's shrill voice sounded beside his ear, "Hubby, a penny for your thoughts." In the spur of the moment, Xiang Xiaolong nearly wanted to make a full confession of his AA background to his lovely wife. Ultimately, he suppressed the urge and bitterly smiled, "Even I do not know what I am thinking about." Ji Yanran comforted, "Yanran understands hubby's emotions. Human beings are really bizarre. Sometimes, we spare no effort and go all out to achieve a goal, but once we succeeded, we would feel so empty and lost inside. Fortunately, this is not the trend for everything. For example, friendship between humans will get better with time and deeper as the days go by. Of course, there are also friends who would become your enemies." Xiang Xiaolong nodded his head, "Listening to Yanran speaking is one of the greatest pleasures of my life. Being able to grow old together with Yanran at the borderlands, what more can I ask for?" Snaking into Xiang Xiaolong's bosom and using his shoulder as a pillow, Ji Yanran gazed intensively at the flickering stars in the sky with her pretty eyes. She faintly remarked, "Yesterday is the day Yingzheng becomes the official king of Qin. I wonder if Lao Ai and Empress are still." Yanran should not have brought this up. Xiang Xiaolong bitterly smiled, "My virtuous wife, I do not mind it one bit. In fact, I have come to terms with it. With our limited abilities, we can only achieve so much, we cannot possibly accomplish everything we set out to do. Concerning Empress, it is beyond my powers to protect her. For the time being, my only wish is to find Wu Guo and the others safe and sound when we arrive at the farms." Ji Yanran sighed. Yanran also wishes to leave this place as soon as possible and never come back. First thing next morning, everybody packed their tents and resumed their journey. Following a predetermined secret route, they rode in the direction of the farms. As evening approaches, the farms can be sighted from afar. Riding at the head of the convoy, Jing Jun suddenly turned back. The expression on his face is horrendous. Knowing that something is not right, everyone started to panic. In a deep voice, Jing Jun reported, "The farms are surrounded by multiple layers of enemies. Under the limited glare of the moon and stars, the land is dimly illuminated. Perching on a higher elevation, they scanned the environment. Entering their sights were tens of thousands of Qin soldiers who are laying siege at the perimeter of the farm. They are located outside the arrow-firing range of the farm battlements. Surprisingly, the battlements are in good condition. It is evident that the enemies have yet to launch an attack. The Wu fortress is completely dark, resembling a ferocious beast that is fast asleep. From the side of the Qin troops, sounds of chopping wood and felling trees can be heard. Unmistakably, they are constructing war machines that are meant to attack the fortress." In a fierce tone, Teng Yi wondered, logically, they should fake an attack in order to deplete our supply of arrows and wear us out physically. Why are they completely immobile instead? Remembering Qinqing and the limited warriors within the fortress, Ji Yanran bit her lower lip in agitation, causing a trickle of blood to emerge. In a deep voice, she explained, "Wei Liao is waiting for our return. Luckily, they are not familiar with the terrain and did not expect us to use this secret path." Hit by a brainwave, Xiang Xiaolong added, "That is not the main reason. Most importantly, he is waiting for Yingzheng to personally attack us in secret. This is the only way to prevent news from leaking out." After careful scrutiny, Xiao Yuan confirmed that the entrance of the secret tunnel is situated far away from the enemy's tents and war machine construction yard. Heaving a sigh of relief, he declared, "Before Yingzhen's arrival, we must fully utilize whatever precious time that remains. Using the secret passageway to return to the fortress, we must immediately grab everyone and depart at once." Of course no one will object to his suggestion and everybody quickly jumped into action. An hour later, they have entered the fortress without being detected. By the time Xiang Xiaolong embraced Qinqing's petite frame, it felt as if an entire lifetime has passed by. As the war horses have been trained to pass through the tunnels, no noises were generated and the enemy is still in the dark about their presence. Out of the blue, Teng Yi stammered, "What? Wu Guo and the rest are not back." Xiang Xiaolong is badly shaken. Lightly pushing Qinqing away, he muttered in shock, "This is impossible." Initially speaking with Teng Yi, Tao Fang sadly conveyed, "Looks like Wu Guo is in trouble." Pausing for a while, he added, "Last night, the enemies abruptly appeared at the perimeter of the farms. In fact, they have surrounded us and advanced towards us from all directions. Fortunately, they did not harass us, otherwise, we would be in a dilemma. Should we defend the farms with our lives or simply flee?" With a heavy expression, Xiao Yuan asserted, "We must retreat at once, for they will discover the secret tunnel sooner or later. When that happens, we would be trapped." Xiang Xiaolong decided, "Let's leave in batches. No matter what, I must stay put until the last minute and leave only when the enemy is finally attacking. Zhou Wei has already lost her only kin, her elder brother. I cannot allow her to lose her beloved husband too. Tu Xian burst out laughing, if we must leave, let's leave together. Let this be a test of heaven's goodwill. Mounting the fortifications, Xiang Xiaolong and the others examined the enemy formations that are spread before their eyes like a tree of fireflies. The difference in their strengths is mind-blowing. Any resistance would be futile. Furthermore, Xiang Xiaolong and his team have been riding for days and nights. In their weakened state, engaging the adversaries can only result in defeat. Teng Yi analyzed, judging from the battle formation, Wei Liao is truly a military genius. Xiao Yuan sighed, Ying Zheng is thoroughly prepared for this assault. By deploying these border guards who are not related to Xiaolong, I believe they themselves are unaware that they are attacking Wu Fortress. At this juncture, Jing Jun ran up to them and announced, we are all set. Shall we bring the horses to the secret cave? With them, it would be easier to make our getaway. Ji Yanran proposed, why don't we place the horses near the entrance of the secret tunnel? Take it as our last effort to assist Wu Guo and the others. After all, it is better than being surrounded and without a means of escape. Everybody kept quiet and stared at Xiang Xiaolong. Xiang Xiaolong acknowledged the wisdom of his pretty wife. If they wanted to transport 600 people, horses, and provisions through the passageway in complete silence, they would require at least 4 hours. He reluctantly agreed, all right. Jing Jun left to execute his order. Out of a sudden, Teng Yi violently shuddered, Ying Zheng is here, Wu Guo and the rest are finished. Reeling with shock, the rest of the group followed his gaze. Together, they witnessed a never-ending procession of torches that resembles a fire dragon. From afar, these new entrants proceeded straight into the tent of the enemy general. Xiang Xiaolong conclusively barked, retreat at once. Dong! 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 The sound of war drums echoed throughout the air. Everyone exchanged glances with one another. Ying Zheng had obviously traveled non-stop throughout the night. Without even stopping for a break or a drink, he instantly commenced the attack, clearly demonstrating his determination in killing Xiang Xiaolong. In a distressed tone, Xiang Xiaolong vexed, Xiao Pan. You are too heartless. Ji Yanran hollered, abandon the horses. We can only rely on our feet to make our escape. Otherwise, it will be too late. Acknowledging her command, everyone started moving accordingly. Watching the enemy soldiers advance from all directions in an overwhelming manner, their hearts sank straight to the bottom.